We want to thank our amazing sponsor, the Rope Drop Queen herself, Michelle McKnight. She is a destination specialist with touring plans and can help you plan an amazing vacation. Whether it's Disney, Universal, a cruise, or an all-inclusive, she can help you with booking, planning, and strategizing to help you have an incredible experience at a great rate. Contact her today at michelle@touringplans.com. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio, the spoiler-full. Lots of spoilers, just getting that out there right now. We are talking the Galactic Starcruiser. In fact, Doug and I are sitting in our room on the Galactic Starcruiser. In our cabin. So this is day one, just finished, and we're going to kind of go through the day. So we're recording this early, so if you've heard any of this in our non-spoiler-free episode, I apologize. But yeah, we're going to dive in and really get into it. So if you've not done this experience and it's something you're going to do soon, you might want to skip it. But we are going to jump in because I'm going to be honest, we are having a lot of fun.
We are having fun, and it's embarkation day, right? Some things felt a lot like a cruise.
Yeah, the downtime between weird things. It really is kind of like a cruise ship in space.
Our server goes with us at our dining rotation.
Named James, after you and I's middle name.
Yeah, it's James. It's our buddy James.
Who knows all about your food allergy. In fact, they take care of you pretty well.
Does he know about my food allergy? We'll get to that.
So let's talk about how we got here. So we came from Pop Century, and one thing we did learn is that they do give shuttle service for people who are staying on property the day before.
Yes, they'll get you a cab. They'll give you a cab voucher. They gave us a late checkout at Pop Century. We did not ask for it. We did not even tell them we're at Pop Century. We just had it linked to the same account, and we had a message on our machine at Pop Century that said, you get to show up at 1. However, we didn't show up at 1, did we, Derek?
No, we showed up at 11:39, which is actually a good time if you're really wanting to get there. And it is kind of different, not like a normal resort getting to and seeing the signs. It is definitely something I was not expecting.
Yeah, it's interesting. They pull up, valet parking, they take our bags. We stood in line then for an hour and not even an hour and a half, right? And we talked to our good buddy Matt. And then, this really isn't spoilery, is it, right now? Should we jump to the spoilers? We got in. They let us in early. We were in the last group into the first elevator.
Yep, spoilers. It was good to get there early, but if you don't want to sit around and wait when you're on the ship, then you might want to get there a little bit later. In fact, Matt said get there a little after 2. We got there at 11. And yeah, 2 o'clock might be a little bit better, especially if you have little kids.
Yeah, you can walk right in at 2:15 or so, and that's the advantage there. So spoilers, first thing you watch is a safety video. That's where the spoilers start. And they tell you what the emergency sounds like for the gameplay versus a real actual emergency. So that's kind of the last time that the whole thing broke character.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad they did it a little bit, but also that movie, it's 2 minutes long, and it actually gave away some of the spoilers in the movie. So I recorded it, but also tried not to watch it at the same time.
Yeah, and then we're into the elevator, the transfer, and then into the ship. Someone took us to our room where our magic bands didn't work, and it's all the way down the hallway. But, that's what you expect.
Yep. Magic Band's not working for a Rope Drop Radio trip. That is definitely what it is. The room's incredible. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, in the show.
That's not really a spoiler,
but spoilers, it's awesome.
It's cool. We'll describe it more on the other show. And then we went to lunch. Is food a spoiler, Derek? Are we talking about food
No,
now,
I think food we'll talk about in the regular show.
I'll just say I really like lunch. I think my kids would love lunch as well. Derek had a different opinion.
No, I don't think my kids would like many of the foods there. Also, green and blue milk. I tried them both. Spoiler, not spoiler. I don't like either of them.
They're really not any better, folks. It's still green and blue milk. It's a swing, a miss, a strikeout on the green and blue milk.
Yeah, so let's get into some spoiler territory. After lunch, that's kind of when the games begin, shall we say. And so
The game is afoot.
You have a lot of characters that also all the cast members stay in character pretty much the entire time. The amount of time someone said, "Hey Disney," and they said, "Disney."
Yeah.
What is that? I don't understand what you're talking about. Sounds fun. And it's almost frustrating to some of the people that are here who have no desire to be in character or play the game. But it is really neat that they really go the extra mile. But the key that Doug and I learned is you have to interact with the characters.
That is the big key. We were a little slow to do that. I think we were surprised by the number of kids on board. And by on board, I mean at the hotel, because it is a hotel. Spoiler there. It's not really a cruise in space, despite what my mother thinks.
Well, in all the groups that we're in and all the previous voyages, people are like, yeah, there's not really that many kids on. And I was kind of thinking the same thing because we're not bringing kids. We have a lot of kids on this ship.
I bet it's increased every sailing, right? It's gradually going to get more kids on board. And then you open your data pad and you just start doing things. And it wasn't until we tried to scan into the engineering room until we got our first real thing to do. And that really started the ball rolling for a while. And then that froze, we hit a dead end, and it's because we didn't go do anything. And you got to actually talk to the cast members, talk to the other cruisers, too, after dinner, we learned.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different things, secret messages and coded messages they hand out. And if you're not really paying attention, you definitely will miss them. And Doug's right. You got to talk to the cast members. I don't know how they do it, because you might talk to the engineer and all of a sudden on your data pad, he has a mission for you. I don't get what the technology is, because it's not like they're scanning our magic band. It's just all of a sudden it happens.
They got to have some sort of RFID, something on their person, because I talked to the captain or cruise director. I can't even remember. It's been a long night, Derek. For 15 seconds, and then I had another thing. So it's really weird. We also, you helped hide Chewie, otherwise known as Carl.
So one of the cool things is Chewbacca got on board, and the First Order was going around, and all of a sudden I found myself in the cantina with Chewie, and they said we're going to call him Sublight Lounge. Thank you. And they're like, hey, we're going to call him Carl. It's not Chewbacca. They're looking for Chewbacca, so it's Carl. And we had fun interacting, and Chewie was great, and we had to sneak him past the First Order. And after I did that mission, I ended up getting something on my communicator and was able to do that.
I jumped in halfway through, right? The other cool thing, we were in the Sublight Lounge again, not drinking, not doing anything. We just kind of wandered through. We're just trying to figure out what the heck we're supposed to be doing. Maybe we should have gotten some spoilers before we came, and we would have had a more fluid day today. I don't know. But that's when the guy that has the guitar came in and started asking us questions, making songs up about the Worst Order, which eventually led to his arrest.
Yep, he got arrested at the end of the night. A lot of people do. A lot of people.
Order boarded us. We were boarded today.
Yes.
Interrupted the big moment of us sending us into hyperspace.
Yes, I'm sure we'll talk about that on the regular show. But that was so cool that we got to be the special guest. Thank you, Matt, for that one, and put us into hyperspace. So, yeah, you got to talk to cast members. Huge thing. And they do kind of pick on the kids a little bit more, I'm realizing. So the cute kids that are dressed up are going to get more missions than the two almost, well, you're 40, and the almost 40, halfway fly fishing men.
The intergalactic fly fishers. It's hard to say.
That is.
Especially after that beer.
That you had one beer. So, and Derek had one times one. So, math is hard.
We also did some training today. I think we did the training in the spoilers.
Okay.
We'll mention we did it, but we did some training. Lightsaber training. Derek, what were your thoughts on lightsaber training? Was it what you expected?
It was not what I expected. They wanted to make it feel like when Luke Skywalker was practicing on the Millennium Falcon with the droid. I thought it was cool. Honestly, I was expecting a little more. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I didn't walk out and say that was the most amazing thing I've ever done in my life. Was it fun? Yes. Was it cool? Yes. I I don't know what more they could do, though, to make me... Unless I got to actually fight somebody.
Yeah.
Like real combat type
That's
of
what I
stuff.
thought was going to happen.
That would have been it, but I don't know how you do that with every passenger on the ship. Right? Like, you'd have broken lightsabers for days.
Absolutely. I thought a character was going to come out and we were going to have to spar with them.
You hear Yoda talking multiple times. That's the only character interaction there. Because you don't actually see any characters. Like, it would have been cool if Rey popped out and showed you some things.
I was expecting that the whole time we were in there, and I was a little disappointed. So the people who came out before us who were like, wow, that was the most amazing thing, I was too high of expectations for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It was great. It was good, but it wasn't the most amazing thing I've ever done in, the last 24 hours even.
Yep. What I did enjoy is right before the guy was like, hey, here's a secret code for the gift shop. So Doug and I runs up to the gift shop, and we gave him the secret code, and then they went into a secret little compartment, and then, Doug and I both spent $17 on a secret pin.
Right. It's not on the shelf, and earlier we were looking at pens, and we're both like, yeah, we'll probably buy a pen. And Derek's like, let's wait. This was a good thing Derek said, let's wait, because now we have the special artifact pin that flips around.
And I'm wondering what more of that stuff they have on the ship that you spend money on.
Like, hey, go talk to this person. Oh, this would be $19.99. Thank you.
Yeah, it worked. It sold us. We both bought it, and people recognized it all through the ship for sure.
Yeah, we had suckers written right on our forehead, and they sold us.
They did. One of the cool things for me, that's a spoiler, is I was in the engineering room, and this is the cool character interaction. I'm doing a mission, and all of a sudden, behind me, Chewie's like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Chewie. Carl was behind me, and actually I told him, I'm like, hey, it's Carl, my friend from college, and he gave me a pat in the back. But I just it's almost weird when a character interacts with you when you're in a mission. You're like, I don't have time for characters. I need to get this done.
Dude, the droid is all over the place. How about when the droid was coming down the hallway? We were waiting for lightsaber training. There's like 20 kids around it. I don't know if that was an official thing of the Lothcat crew, like the kids club thing, or if it was just the kids were following around the droid. It's possible the kids were just following around the droid.
Well, the kids have really figured out the characters you need to get the missions from, and they are just hovering around constantly.
They know what they're doing. We're too old to do it, I guess.
Well, the captain even I'm standing by the captain, and she's like, I have a mission. And I'm like, okay, I'm standing by you. Nope, did not go to me. Went to like 4 9-year-olds and Goggle Girl.
Goggle Girl's going to win. If there's a trophy at the end of this, she's already got it, I think. Goggle Girl knows what she's doing.
This girl's got Ray goggles, and she is all over the place. She skipped dinner. Like, we saw her parents, and it's like, oh, you skipped dinner to go do all these missions.
You said your kids want to eat. Although we didn't see the kids' food at dinner, but there was a little bit of everything. I think kids would be fine to eat. I think you're worrying too much, Derek.
Well, it's just an excuse right now not to spend the money on bringing my kids for sure.
That is an excellent point. Let's talk about the engineering room. So we got missions to go in there. Like one time I had to release the valve for the carbonite freezing thing. What did you have to do? You had to do something totally different.
I had to get communications and data for the captain on the main computer.
Yeah, and then one time we both got the same kind of mission at the same time to go to one area of the atrium and get a signal, and we had to line up our phones at a certain angle. And as we're doing that, the First Order guy that, took over the cruise, Lieutenant Croy, is like looking over our shoulders.
And we just happen to be doing something that's First Order related, just out of coincidence.
Right. Like, we're intercepting his transmission, right? And he's like, what are we doing here?
Well, no, he's like, good job, you're helping the First Order. And I'm like, holy crap, there's a guy behind me.
Yeah, he's funny in a First Order sort of way. Worst Order.
The Worst Order. Well, all the cast members are far and away just incredible. And the improv and the amount they're able to do just really amazes me.
Like, chatting with the bartender, you can't even ask, like, oh, where'd you work before you got this job? Because they're not going to tell you. You might say like, "Oh, I was on the Hut planet."
Yeah,
and
he was
blah.
dealing with the Huts.
Yeah, like he's not gonna say like, "Oh, well, I was over at California Grill." You're not gonna get that. No.
No, they all stay in character. It's pretty incredible. So now it's what are we missing, Doug? Because we got no spoilers beforehand.
Right? We got tomorrow. We have to do all the data padding around Batu. We have to go fly the Falcon. Rise. Eat lunch, then come back and eat lunch again.
Yep, 2 lunches. That'll be good for our diets.
Do what I can.
We got to. It's for the podcast.
It's for the resistance.
Wow. You almost went the wrong way.
I almost did.
So yeah, definitely people are choosing first order things. And I think that's really neat how as you play the game, a lot of the questions pop up because it's very interactive. What would you do? This, or this? And some of them are very, I will tell you, I'm a supporter of the first order. Or it's just like, I will never tell you, go resistance.
Yeah. And you don't really pick your path so much as your answers choose your path.
Yeah.
Like, we thought, like, day one, you're like, yeah, I'm going to be a Jedi. No, it's not quite like that. I'm sure there's little kids that their parents went and, like, they really want to be a Jedi. How do we accomplish this? And then they helped them down that path.
So
I'm just assuming.
We'll see. I'm very curious to see what happens by the end of the day tomorrow.
Yes. There was moments where we're like, what is happening right now? And then other moments like, this is really cool. And then other moments like, oh, this is just like a dance party on a cruise ship.
And thank you everyone who supported Doug's dancing. We raised a lot of money, and that was the highlight of the day.
Painful highlight of the day.
Great highlight. So we'll see what the highlight is for tomorrow. I think that's enough for day 1. We're going to go to Batu in the morning, and then the rest of the stuff on board, and we will record again tomorrow for our spoiler full episode.
It sounds great, Derek. I am really looking forward to our excursion down to Batu.
Well, yes, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys, and we are going to move to day 2. Spoilers, day 2. Day 2 at Batu. So Doug and I spent the morning off-world, took a nice little transport. Actually, shout out to Disney. I actually enjoyed the transport quite a bit. It wasn't what I was expecting.
Overly themed. Very fancy leather seats. It's not really just the back of a cargo van.
Spoilers, it's the back of a cargo van.
Yeah, this is the spoiler part of the transport. It's really fancy. There's a droid that talks to you the whole way. He makes a joke about Rex being a better DJ than a pilot. That was funny. So there is some spoilers. Then they drop you off on kind of a backstage long hallway.
Yes, but it does give room. Like we were looking there, there is ways to expand, and it does do some cool things. So hopefully in the future, but it does pop you out kind of right by the First Order ship. So if you ever wonder what that kind of opening area is for,
that's it. It's a big opening. I think the first real spoiler storyline-wise is as soon as you tap your magic band and you're heading to the transport, is we got communications from like 3 or 4 different people, all giving us different things to do on Batu. One sent us to Rise of the Resistance, one sent us to Oga's, one sent us to Millennium Falcon.
That's right. And actually, that was what I wanted from this experience. And the Oga's guy was by far away the best. So you show him on your data pad, hey, I need to show you this, ask you about this. And he was really a good cast member. He was like, oh, yeah, I'll tell you. And he hands us something, slipped it to us, kept it really down low, and was kind of like, okay, now you need to just get over to your next thing. And so I really enjoyed that. I actually want more of that. So that is the one thing I felt like is missing from the Batu experience.
Yeah, the one cast member was phenomenal, but there could have been like a second cast member interaction type thing. And then the Millennium Falcon stuff and the Rise of the Resistance, I feel like had you not read those communications, you went on it, you still would have gotten what you needed to. I think because it's like, I've already done it was an option, or I'm about to do it, it's an option. We had a good time, though, on our rides. And then after that, it's a whole lot of hacking, scanning, and tuning.
Yep, using the My Disney or the Disney Play, and it's stuff you can do even if you're in the parks on a regular day. So there wasn't
scanning.
Okay, scanning. Yeah, but it's a lot of it you can do in a regular day, and that's what kind of I wish there's more.
Yeah, just the scanning on the regular days, not the hacking or the tuning. That was just for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was special.
Oh. Thought I've done tuning here before. Maybe not.
Not like that.
Okay.
No, some of that was first order with our ship related, the results. But every time you hack something, then you got to take little lines across the grid or make a key out of different shapes. And like there's like little mind puzzles.
And they got old fast.
Only do it so long. Maybe we could have done more between our different attractions, but we were like the first people off the ship. Because this isn't a spoiler. This will be in the regular show. They tell you like 9:40 or whatever for the first transport. We left the ship at like 8:30. 8:20. It's the cast member, when I asked, they're like, oh, that's just the recommended time. Like, yeah, let's wait for it to get hot before I go over there. And it was getting hot.
It got hot fast. I do understand why they recommended it, because now we're back on the ship and we literally have nothing to do except record a podcast.
Right. They don't want to entertain us right now because everybody's supposed to be on their excursion. Just like on a regular cruise, though. It's kind of, you get back from whatever island, whatever beach you're on, it's kind of dead time, quiet on the ship. You can enjoy some things in silence. So I'm looking forward to that. Second lunch about to come up.
That's right. We did do Docking Bay 7. That is a part of it. We'll probably talk about this in the regular show, but we did walk up. Spoiler, they do come with alcoholic drinks.
Yeah, which we'll say in the regular show, too.
Yeah, but still.
I
was impressed, yes.
Derek got a $35 lunch with his, cruise package, so to speak, yeah.
Yeah, so was it as good as you were expecting Batu to be?
I had very low expectations for Batu because we've been there a ton. We've done a bunch. I know there are some people on this cruise that is their first time going on Rise of the Resistance, right? Like the people I've talked to seem to be more Star Wars fans than Disney fans. I've yet to talk to somebody that's like us, where they go to Disney multiple times a year. I haven't had that conversation yet. So I think most people, it's their first or second time on Rise of the Resistance. I know nobody went and paid for Rise of the Resistance lightning lanes the day before we arrived, right? Why would you do that when you know you're going on a couple days later? So I think for the average guest on the Halcyon, Batu is newer, fresher to them compared to us. So it's different for us, where we were scanning things at the end, and it's just all Halcyon people scanning stuff and looking like they're doing homework.
And all the people asking us, what are you guys doing? What are we missing? And we're like, we're loosed on the ship.
And you almost feel bad sometimes when there's a kid like, oh, I want to do that with my phone. And it's like, yeah, sorry, kid. They can scan, but it doesn't, you get points on, like, you can scan a lot of things with the Play Disney app, but it doesn't do the same stuff as when you're logged into the Halcyon.
Yep, and we did not finish everything, but we wanted to get back here, record a show, and then now, coming up...
To be honest, Derek, we gave up. We were like, it's hot, we're tired. We did get water. Even we went back to where they drop you off and got water at like 10 a.m., and that hit the spot. I wouldn't have made it, Derek. I wouldn't have made it. It was... Batu is a warm place.
Touch and go there for a minute. So... we have a lot of fun things. So the one spoiler thing is when you do all the activities on Batu and you unlock everything, that's when you get to do special signature things that now pop up.
Yeah. Things have been added to our itinerary. So we'll see what those are exactly. I think they're kind of coded right now. It's like meet with the cruise director, but we're pretty sure it's something more than just seeing her because we've seen her.
Yeah, it's. I know we'll probably be with we got droid data, so we're going to help break our droid out of the first order resistance, and
they put on that restraining bolt, jerks.
So it'll be fun this afternoon, kind of from 3:30 to the rest of the night. We will be go.
We got bridge training coming up, which looks pretty cool. We haven't done that yet. That's an assigned time along with the Jedi, the lightsaber training. You get that kind of assigned. You don't get to pick that. So looking forward to that. We did our Jedi last night. Or lightsaber thing last night, and get to do our bridge today. It'll be cool. Cool.
All right, well, stay tuned. We'll follow this up here in a second. So after a quick change, we are back. We had to get dressed back in our gear, our smuggler's gear, or as some people online has said, fly fishing gear.
Galactic fly fishers?
That is exactly what we were on this trip. So spoilers, a lot happens in the second night while you're here.
Yeah, it's the climax of the story. And we got back on the ship after Bat 2, kind of not sure what was going to happen, and a lot transpired. And it started with our bridge training.
Yeah, bridge training was great. You'll hear more about that, I know, in the regular show, but definitely in depth. And you need to know all of that stuff because we did get orders to be able to help on the bridge later.
Yeah, I think spoilers of the bridge is you get to do every station. They rotate you around. It's really fun. Don't miss it. It's one of your scheduled things. Everybody goes at a different time. I think the bridge training was probably one of the best done regular scheduled things. You didn't have to do anything extra to earn it. No data pad nonsense. No chasing around a character. It was scheduled.
And Derek got a standing ovation. I did. We were good,
Yeah,
Doug.
we were
We
a
actually
good team.
dominated everything. If originally they were going to go by points and what team was the best, and Doug and I were definitely winning by far. And there's like 40 plus people, and then all of a sudden
we had 26 things, and like the lady next to us had like
8. Yeah, we were dominating at an unreal pace. We were beating the crew, and then all of a sudden the First Order and Sammy has to get involved, and Chewbacca. So it kind of that's something that happens a lot. Is you're doing something and then something else happens,
Stupid First Order. It's the worst.
ruining everything. But it does keep building in the storyline for sure because we also have to get Chewie and the coaxium. The coaxium had to get taken.
Yeah, because we did things on Bat 2, it turned into we had a meet at a certain time, and we had 2 different meets that showed up where we went back into the bridge. Only certain people that had tapped their magic band to get access, and had we not gone through the communications, ridden the rides in Bat 2, we would not have been able to do it. It was fun. That was really cool. Chewie came in, coached through stuff. We saved the Millennium Falcon. We shot TIE fighters.
We did. Definitely one of the biggest highlights. And this is in the last few hours of the day. We also then get to go down to engineering. And we don't know what's going to happen down there. And all of a sudden we go in, Chewbacca's there, and we have to help get the coaxium going in engineering.
Yeah, kind of like in Solo, a Star Wars story, how they put a drop of coaxium in. That's kind of what we end up doing, except we shut down systems, turn on systems. Some high school kid got put in charge of us. That was fun.
With the deepest voice that any high school kid has ever had. And that voiceover artist already.
He's doing movie trailers already, I'm sure, in a world where Doug and Derek take
And it's just weird because here we are, Chewbacca's right next to us. Like I even put a video. Yeah, and so you're like numb at this point that characters are around.
Yeah, you don't even notice you're hanging out with Chewbacca by night 2. It's just, why wouldn't he be there? Or Carl, as we call him.
And then the First Order comes in, and we try to distract him, which was hilarious. In the improv with the main cast, Sammy, who it was, trying to get us, hey, just pretend you're on a VIP tour. And I can't remember what you said.
I said the way we got here is by a marksmanship contest, so you're not invited.
And they definitely gave Doug the look and the pointer finger. I thought you were doomed right there.
Yeah, they just let me go, though. They had bigger fish to fry.
So, yeah, we leave there and we think, okay, I don't know what's going to happen next.
We're done for the night.
We're done for the night. That's what it was.
We had dinner. We had watched the concert in the atrium, some other things in the atrium with the restraining bolt and coaxium and this and that. And that wasn't like on our schedule. It was just like what was happening. Hang out in the atrium if you don't know what else to do. It was time for a drink. Into the cruise drink, Derek.
And we did. We got some drinks in the lounge, and all of a sudden I'm going to get ready to pay for our drinks, and finally, so when we get on the ship at the very beginning, it tells you if there's like and red lights, that means everyone goes to the muster stations. Yeah. And you've been kind of waiting for this to happen. All of a sudden that happens. I'm like, oh crud, I gave my credit card. I need to get this thing quick back. I was kind of panicked for a second to make sure I could pay so I don't miss anything. So we run out to our muster stations, and that's when stuff really starts happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's slow build with Lieutenant Croy, and they're arguing about the coaxium, that stuff, and the crowd, and he's going back and forth with people naming his supporters, and they've taken over, and then all of a sudden Kylo Ren pops in.
Which gets boos and hisses, but the crowd reaction is what is truly making this experience, because you have couple hundred Star Wars fanatics. And so when any of these characters get involved, I mean, the place just erupts.
And then Kylo Ren, like, force chokes, Lieutenant Croy, and all kinds of stuff's happening. And then in comes Rey.
Which gets a thunderous applause. Like, it is go time. Music now is hitting in the background, and these two just duel it out. And it's a real full-on fight scene.
Theatrics and everything. One tip I would say is definitely watch from the middle. We were more towards the outside, so we did miss one side of it where Rey ignites the new lightsaber that's actually like lightsaber. And then in the choreography, she puts it on the ground and picks up the plastic one to fight with, which she broke fighting.
I was very confused by that. Yeah, the lightsaber was completely gone, but they kept fighting. And the fight choreography with the sparks and the destruction.
How about when she's over on the one side and he grabs her with the force, and the floor must have some sort of conveyor belt that like takes her to him? That was like, whoa.
Force chokes and pulls. Yeah, this is next level excitement, and they have done to the nines. They did not spare any expense on this part of the show.
And then Rey wins. They, Kylo, blah, they go different ways. Coaxium this way. We find out that Sammy, one of the actors that's in the whole thing, had a stormtrooper suit on, and we got Croy sent. It just the perfect way to end a Star Wars thing with one of the heroes in a stormtrooper suit, right?
Oh yeah,
He might have been a little short though.
He was, but this is the character that's kind of been the anchor to all the plot. You do so many things with, and he was phenomenal, a phenomenal cast member. And yeah, so when he pulled off the stormtrooper helmet and revealed himself, the whole place, that was the biggest applause of the whole show.
Yeah, I think he was the big ticket item out of. The captain was underwhelming, didn't do much. She
did have the my ship is back. Yeah,
lines.
Some great lines that got applauses.
The whole 2 days, like she didn't interact plot wise as much as like Lieutenant Croy or Sammy or Wraith. Is that his name? Yeah. They probably, and the cruise director Mock interacted more. Linka Mock. Yeah. So it was a great way to end it. And then they celebrate. They said, we're going to celebrate. I expected to say, with ice cream and sprinkles. That's not what they said, Derek.
No. We had fireworks, because every cruise ship in the Disney cruise ship line needs to have fireworks. And so this one doesn't have fireworks at sea. It has fireworks in space.
As it should. So they led us onto the bridge. We had a really good spot to watch from. All kinds of fireworks.
With John Williams music going off in the background. This is like Hollywood Studios. Forget that. We have a new one, a new fireworks show.
And like the story and plot and the action actually builds like emotionally too, as all of this is happening with our ship being taken over and just the plot expanding. The little things that we were nitpicking throughout the previous 40 hours or 30 hours were washed away in the last hour.
I agree. It was such a well done ending to the cruise. I was on a high for the next hour, and then we go down.
We did get ice cream.
We did. We went downstairs for the dessert party.
Gelato, at least. I could eat most of it.
You did. It was phenomenal, and they played some new music. And what I love about that is there's then a subplot with a musician that we haven't really talked about at all on this, but there's a musician subplot that then comes full circle at the end of the cruise.
Yeah, like he went from being in the crowd to discovered to writing songs in the atrium with the help of guests like Derek giving him lines. And then they sang a song at the end, and that was fantastic.
Yeah, so all the plots ended correctly, so no spoilers there. But yeah, they did a phenomenal job overall.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable. Easily the weirdest, most entertaining 2 nights ever.
Yeah, it's not a trip. It is truly an experience.
Yeah, like if you've done Savi's, you're not paying for a lightsaber. you're paying for the interaction with the cast member in the show. I would say it's along the same lines here. You're here for the show, the interactions, all the data padding. It's kind of a nuisance, but you got to do it to unlock the other things. It is what it is. I don't know.
So overall, I really enjoyed the experience. I know we talked about this on the other show, but this has been the spoiler episode. So spoiler, Doug and I had a lot of fun.
We did, and I was just in the middle of my drink when that stupid alarm went off.
But you finished your drink.
I did, and the show at the end, like the alarm goes off. It takes a while to build to Rey and Kylo fighting. It's not just like, oh, the alarms and lightsaber fight. Like they actually build to it. It's been very easy for them to just go, and here's Kylo and here's Rey, and they're gonna fight. But they didn't do that. There's a lot of bantering back and forth, picking out individuals in the crowd. So if you really interact in a certain way, like you're going to get recognized at the end, good or bad.
We were only recognized as really good navigators.
They're systems
specialists.
Systems specialists. They didn't call us fly fishers, though.
No, we were good at pushing buttons in the right order. We're very good at pushing buttons.
Which, my family would know, too. I push all their buttons.
All the buttons. So there you go. That is our spoilers. I'm sure we missed quite a bit. So if you have any questions, please let us know. We might do a listener questions episode down the road if we missed anything. And we're going to get up tomorrow morning and get off the ship.
Parting is such sweet sorrow.
It is. We need to pack tonight. All of our costumes. And by costumes, I mean fly fisher and costume.
All the pockets there. Got to empty.
For the record, there are people that went way above and beyond and are probably going to be packing for hours.
Yeah, we'll talk about costumes in the non-spoilers.
Yeah.
A lot more.
All right, we have a final spoilers episode that we didn't even know we were going to record. So we're off the ship, and this morning at 6 a.m., Derek wakes up and just dives into all the spoiler stuff that I missed and try to not do while we were there or before. And Doug and I realized we missed a lot, not because we wanted to, but because when you choose your path, you go on a path like all the Jedi stuff.
Your path chooses you. Like there's not like you don't check in and go like I want to be a Jedi or I want to be in the Resistance or I want to be a scoundrel, I want to be First Order or I want to fall in love. Evidently, that's a thing. Yeah. Like you don't. There's not like a menu and you get to pick. You just start answering questions through the comms on the app when the characters communicate with you, and you get more communications the more characters you talk to. We didn't realize that for quite a while, or just going trying to get in other rooms. But the climate simulator one time didn't let us in, so I blame that.
Yeah, I know you can go in there. The climate simulator. Climate simulator is really just going outside.
There's no roof. There's just no roof. It's Florida.
Yep. But the Jedi or the people on board that are like the Jedi were in there, and you can interact with them. And so we missed that whole experience, which would they're supposed to be moving rocks in there. I saw videos online, and then by the end on the Jedi one, you have an interaction with Rey where she unlocks a holocron and Yoda comes out. So we missed this whole experience.
But if we had done that, we wouldn't have been in the engineering room fixing the ship with Chewbacca. And we're to the point where Carl is just hanging out with us. And it's like, yeah, we're friends with Carl now.
Yeah. So our line definitely gave us a lot of Chewbacca, and we got to go on the bridge and help save the day.
Yeah, we saved Chewbacca. We shot a bunch of TIE fighters, which I think we shot.
We did. We actually got the most. We did. We got 30. We got 30. No, 26.
What the person next to us get on that? Like
it was not a lot.
5?
Yeah, and actually, the cast member Sammy, the character, was like, "Holy crap, you guys did well."
You did. He was almost like, "You shot how many? Like what? Like." And then the storyline moved on. He kind of gave us you clearly cheat mode. Yeah.
We're good.
To do it together. So one person's aiming it while the other person's shooting. So it is. You have to be in sync. So this is why the show works.
Communication. We did really good. That Doug
might have yelled at each other.
A couple of them like, "Doug, go left, shoot, fired." Yeah. So, but it was fun, and it was fun. That definitely. So, and then there's just so many other ones, like the whole First Order path. if you start going down that road, like Doug and I still have no idea what the outcome is, but there is a first order. Like, I don't know if you meet with Kylo Ren, and I'm sure if you're listening to the show and let us know. If you have pictures, video, let us know, because I really want to know what the end game.
The big payoff is for doing the first order thing, because it's got to be more than Croy.
Yeah.
Right? Because we had Chewbacca hanging around. The Jedi people had Rey hanging around. So Kylo Ren comes in at the end, so he's clearly on the ship. Yeah. Right? So, I don't know. Maybe they don't have a big payoff other than being like the 4 people that do I mean, the cool thing about if you choose to answer all your questions that take you down that first order route is you're in a very small group. So you're going to get a lot of attention. And they're going to know you by name. Yeah. I mean, they knew us by name. Not Croy. I don't think he knew our names. Croy did. He creepily... I mean, he was like breathing on you at one point because he didn't like you.
That's before all the kids got involved with the characters, for sure.
We did see Croy get hit by a lightsaber.
Yeah. It's gonna be really interesting, guys, to see how they change with kids and lightsabers and some of the things on board, as we're going to have Matt on the show to talk more about security and stuff like that, because it's just fascinating.
And I really want to give it a couple more months to talk to him, because now that more kids are on board, our sailing had the most. A month of summer is going to be real interesting to see what changes by, like, say, mid-July, August. That's when stuff's going to have to find, like, they're either going to have to limit, but how do you... They say no blasters because he was like, how do you take lightsabers away? Yep. Right? It's Star Wars. But you know what?
You're building them on Batuu, and so that's kind of, you have to bring them back on board.
But you get alcohol on a regular cruise, bring it back on board, and they just hold it till you get off. They do that. That's a regular cruise thing. Okay. So they do that with weapons. I know people that have bought like knives and stuff in the Caribbean, and they hold it, and then you get it when you leave. Okay. So it'd be similar, because really the only people that should have lightsabers are the ones doing the Jedi path, right? So maybe you can't have your lightsaber until you pass some sort of lightsaber training safety course, just like a gun. I don't know, only let them have it that last night, like their training's done. Mm-hmm. But so many people show up with them on. Like, there was people that obviously went down the same route we did that had lightsabers on their belt the whole time. Because, like, the dude that looked like Mark Hamill was at all the things we were at. So he clearly, even though he looked like Mark Hamill, was dressed like Luke.
And did he try to do the Jedi path and get steered away? Because it's
all in how you answer.
Yep. And it's all about who you meet, and you go down a path right away, and that's what's just fascinating.
A few more moles on his face, and I would have probably thought he was Mark Hamill.
The cast had so much fun interacting with him. Also, when he wasn't in Mark Hamill Jedi costume, you almost like tripled looks, like, oh, that is him, like, because he's in shorts and t-shirt at Batuu.
The breakfast today, getting off the ship, was fantastic because no one's dressed up anymore. And if your angry people aren't dressed up on disembarkation breakfast, you just take a deep breath. Life will be okay. But oh my gosh, looking at some of the people, like seeing people without their face paint on or the same costume that they've worn the whole time you've ever seen them, it was entertaining, right? Just street clothes, except for Batman guy. He was still rocking Batman.
Good old Batman guy. And I heard from other ones, like there's a C-3PO thing that we missed because there's some other path. We talked about on the show, I guess there's a full love story path. If you spend a lot of time in the Sublight Lounge, you kind of get that, like if you're interacting with some of the musicians and characters. So there's a lot of different ways. So there is a lot of to be able to do it. Now I'm like, I want to go again and just try to go full Jedi.
So like the one musician last night at the celebration dessert party, he talked about like 4 different girls that helped. He didn't say you helped write the song.
Nope.
It was all young ladies, Derek.
Yeah. So he had his own path. So it's incredible that they've done so many storylines. It's almost like a choose your own adventure novel.
That you don't even know you're in.
Yeah. So you're choosing your own adventure. So definitely, if you've gone on and done one of the other paths, let us know. We want to see pictures. We want to see what we missed to make us jealous and make us want to do it again.
Right. The redoability is amazing. And if this is the only episode you've listened to, make sure you check out our other one where we talk about a lot of other things, just not the storyline. This was mostly storyline stuff, which it's just amazing what they've done. It's not just in the data pad. I think we were a little too data pad focused to begin with. So it was a great time, though.
It was. So thank you guys. Lots of spoilers. If you have any questions, let us know. We'd be happy to answer them. And it was a great trip and look forward to doing it again. Going down the dark side, maybe?
I've never contemplated the dark side, but I think it'd be kind of fun to just be that guy in the crowd, because the people that were on the dark side, like,
they had fun.
They did. I think I would really enjoy kind of being that guy. I would be a little worried that some, 12-year-old that doesn't understand their size would haul off and punch you. Because the finale, like, there was high running emotions on both sides, and it
was like a melodrama where there is cheering, there's booing, there's hissing. Like, it is phenomenal
with real theatrical effects. And I mean, the force choke slide, I mentioned it already, but holy cow, I was like, that was well done. That was purpose built and sparks and everything.
And they even destroyed parts of the ship. And when we woke up this morning, those parts of the ship were still destroyed. In fact, I went up to a crew member and I go, "This is a hazard right here. You need to put a sign up or something."
Get some caution tape
I know.
here.
It was so just wow. Like even in the morning, there's still elements that are still going strong. So definitely incredible experience.
And I think if I would have dressed up all the way, I would have been in character the whole time. We didn't I think we could have done it and had a really good time, but since we didn't know exactly what it was, I'm glad we did it the way we did, with kind of a halfway character, kind of dressed up. I mean, we ain't wearing that to a theme park ever, right? Like, we had to stop at CVS. I'm like, "You're gonna wear your outfit into CVS?" And you're like, "Oh no!" Like, it was odd enough you're not wearing it in public. But it wasn't all the way in. I think I might go all the way in.
Oh, I'm going all the way in next time, for sure.
I mean, maybe be in character 100%. Like, I did that once at Mickey's Not So Scary Christmas party. I was Dr. Doofenshmirtz, and I talked to everybody as if I was Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Now, did it almost lead to a divorce? Maybe. But I think I'd have a blast, and I think doing First Order would be really fun. But I'd rather be a Jedi.
Yes, so there we go. And the one thing that a couple people told Doug and I to do was to take different paths, and Doug and I are way too much alike, and we just ended up
answering questions. After we'd answer, I'd be like, "What did you answer?" And
we always answered the same. Yeah, it was like we should have. We weren't trying, but we still answered all the questions the same anyway, because I guess we're too much alike.
How bad would last night have been had we gone totally different paths? I'd be like, "Oh, I have to be at the bridge at 6:30," and you're like, "Oh, I have to be in the climate room at 6:30," right? And then we get back and we'd be telling each other,
which that actually did happen to another couple,
right? And we would be like, "Oh, I wish I could have done that." And the bridge thing we did last night was awesome. It was. And we saved Chewbacca, and how many people can save
the Millennium Falcon flying by, shooting TIE fighters? Who doesn't want to do that?
Right.
So that's the thing. I'm like, okay, we got to do that. What did we miss? And so that's why the other couple already booked for a trip in September to go a different route. So definitely choose your own path wisely and have some fun with it.
Yeah, so I think we're at the point where it's time to book.
Book it. We're ready to go back. So, hey, this is actually a good question. Is there any interest in doing a rope drop radio cruise in space? Is there enough listeners who would be interested in doing that with Doug and I? Let us know. Might be something we do late 2023.
Maybe. We'd have to have solid commitments.
Yes. You go all in with us. So if that's you, let us know. Thank you so much for listening to Rope Drop Radio.